So that's our heel. We're going to go back to the foot color. And quite honestly, if I wasn't using different colors to show you, you wouldn't be making these changes. You would just keep going. But I wanted to point out how each works. I think I'm going to change this up a little bit. So I'm going to chain two, and then I'm going to start putting a foundation row around the heel. Picking up this now when we get down here, we're going to start working in the back of the row again. In the back of the loop, I'm sorry. And we're going to put a single crochet in each one of these for our foundation row. And then we're going to go to join them together, our first stitch, and just pull through. Now you see a little hole right there. That's okay. That's just where we pulled the heel together, and sometimes it's tighter, sometimes it's not. Chain up 2. Now this is where I always count so that I have an even heel. So it's the chain being the first stitch. We go in the back of the second, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to skip this stitch and go into the next. Work the front of the sock.
Okay, how do you know how many to count?
Again, it depends on the foot. You will figure out when you do your first sock, or if you can follow instructions in a pattern, it'll tell you, but I can't. So what I did is at every one of these steps, whoever I was making the sock for the first time, at each step I would work it out. Now, to make sure that you have equal sides, I come up here and I'll count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to skip this one. and then I'm going to join them again, going in the first stitch, just pulling through. I will do this for 6 rows where I skip, and then I'll be back. Now, before I go, if somebody has a wider foot, you may not need to skip 6 rows. If somebody has a narrower foot, you may need to skip 8. Again, it's all depending on the individual foot. So I'll see you when I've done the 6 rows. Okay, so basically we put the foundation row in, then did 6 more rows, decreasing 1 on each side. Now we'll do the foot, and that's going to depend on how long the foot is, but the last 2 inches will be the toe. So I'm going to do another 5 rows, which I'll add on here, but I will not be decreasing anymore. So chain up, go in the back loop of each stitch. The fun thing about socks is that you can make them any way you want. Any colors you want. You can make them solid. You can make rose stripes, not rose stripes. I'm sorry this is taking longer. My fingers just don't want to work today. But you know what? It'll all be done in the end. So it's finished when it's finished. That's row 1. And I will see you back when I do the next 4 rows. Okay, so I am going to change out the color for the toe. So again, a couple of stitches before I join the rows. I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet in the back loop. Fold the tail over. Do a single crochet again. I told you, my fingers just aren't working today. Do a single crochet. Join the row. With the first stitch. Drop the foot color. Chain up 2 with the heel color.
Toe color.
Toe color, I'm sorry, with the toe color. And then in the back loop, I'm going to crochet, single crochet. Six single crochets. Again, this is going to be up to you when you figure out. Let me cut this. Get the foot color out of the way. It's going to be up to you when you figure out the size sock that you're working with. I don't use markers, I just count. So I've done 6 single crochets. I'm going to skip the next, and that's going to be my first decrease on this row until I come around to the other side. Skip, join the rows together, chain 2, and count 6 again. 2, 3, 6, skip 1, oh, came a little bit too far. Skip 1, and as you can see, we're starting to close up the toe. Now this is getting a little narrow. Normally I would do this on an adult sock. Cut that little tail off. On an adult sock I would normally do 5 rows of decreasing, and I would do another 2 rows of decreasing, but I would cut it down by 2. So this time I'm only going to do 4, 2, 4, skip 1, but again, it depends on the foot. If somebody has a wider ball on their foot, I have a tail sticking out there too. I'm gonna snip that away. For the skip. Skipped 1, 2, 4, join the rows together,
No, you said we're saying about if they have a wider ball on their foot.
Then you would not skip until you got closer up to the toe. Do 4, 2, 4, skip. Markers work for some people. For me, doing my own thing kind of works. And with an adult foot, you wouldn't, or even a larger sock, you wouldn't be working with such a tight area. Now, I always do my last row without skipping any. Remember, still working in the back loop of the stitch. Okay, now I've joined the row together. I'm going to do 1 chain and then pull this up and give myself plenty to work with. Snipping it off. Now I'm going to turn the sock inside out. And I'm going to pull that tail up. And I'm just going to pull it through the tail until I get to a side. Tail is here. I'm going to take a loop. Excuse me. I'm going to take a loop on each side and pull the tail through. Then I'm going to come from the other side and take a loop from each side and pull it through until I've come across the entire toe. And remember, this isn't proportional because I'm just trying to show each step. When I get to the end, pull it through for the last time and give it just a little tug. Then I work the tail down the side of the foot just a little bit. Again, because I don't like knots, and I definitely don't like them in my socks. I'll cut the tail off. Turn the sock back to the right way, to the right side. And there you go. You finished sock. Now the ribbon can be turned down, or it can be left up, depending on your preference. And voila, we have a sock. As always, have a good day, be safe, and share your knowledge.